and welcome to this week's edition of Kogi in Focus, a review of happenings and development in and around Kogi, Nigeria's confluent state. I'm Oluwatosin Osuji. In today's edition, political office aspirants state their case as journalists in the state hold their maiden media parley. Kogi State's statement eases movement in and out of its tertiary institutions with the donation of 7 32-seater coastal buses. And we hit the streets and the farms to hear what they think of the Nigerian government's ban on rice importation. These and more when we return. Don't go away. Welcome back. News broke a little over a week ago of an outbreak of an illness in a settlement near the Emiworo community in the Dakuta local government area, which claimed 2 lives. 20 others were treated at a clinic in the neighboring Alaite community. The Kogi state government, on getting wind of this, dispatched the GYB medical response team to the village to ascertain the cause, which was discovered to be diarrhea.
We cannot exactly ascertain that is cholera, but the signs we see are that of gastroenteritis, which is diarrhea and vomiting. But though, this sign is almost the same thing, similar to that of cholera. There's 2 samples for analysis to ensure if the cases are that of cholera. And if that is the case, the government will now come in by supplying some materials to support.
The medical team moved to the village where the illness spread and had words of advice for residents.
We conducted these IPDs, that is immunization plus days, within Kogi. And we realized that when my team came here to come and vaccinate them, they rejected. So I got the information that we the LGA team at our own level, arranged and we said we must get them immunized, because if we should allow them to continue like this is how we'll be getting more problems. We thank God, though they are new settlement, they came not quite long, but despite that, they are now in our own LGA, so they have to be vaccinated. We equally told them too that their source of water here is not all that fine for their drinking, so they should boil them. If they cannot go for any other water than this one available, they should get them boiled to avoid diarrhea and vomiting that leads to cholera.
We are here to sensitize them about their hygiene, how they should go about their drinking water and the kind of food they eat. They should boil it.
The GYB medical team also immunized the children and got them registered at the nearby medical center for continuous immunization. The settlement is made up of largely Fulanese. One of them, Musa, expressed delight at the state government intervention.
All of that, I don't get it to us. Thank you, sir.
The State Health Commissioner, Saka Haruna, said the situation in the village and neighboring communities will continue to be monitored. Kogi State's government has distributed 7 32-seater buses to state-owned tertiary institutions to ease the transportation burden in and out of the campuses to within and beyond the state. Transportation Commissioner Hawal Mohammed, at the official handover ceremony, further explained the state government's gesture.
This laudable gesture of His Excellency is intended to ease the burden of transportation on both students and staffers to and fro the campuses. It is on this record that the education sector has never had it so good until the advent of this present APC, people-oriented and new direction administration.
The commissioner said the education sector in the state has never had it so good since advent of the Yabelu administration took charge. He reminded those present of government's approval of a 300% increase in students' bursary allowances across all state-owned tertiary institutions. He called on drivers and commuters to use vehicles responsibly. The Vice-Chancellor of the Kogi State University, Professor Abdulkadir Muhammad, who spoke on behalf of other tertiary institution heads, described the provision of the vehicles as timely.
I want to extend our appreciation and thanks through you to His Excellency for this kind gesture in providing what we have been in need in our tertiary institutions, transportation. For Kogi State University, you said you appreciate when I was able to farm out 25 of our medical students to various universities, 10 to Ebonyi State University, 8 to Ondo State University of Health Sciences, and Danfodi University Sokoto, 7 there. He gave them what called special scholarship, which we are waiting to receive the award later. Now, in most institutions, we have been having problems of commuting. Our students going on occasion, like our student from the theatre arts department, that's yearly, okay, we have to hire buses for them. Even internally, students, we need this bus for research, teaching and research.
I think this is the kind of thing we want. I think it will reduce the stress, transportation of the student, moving around the school. For those people living far away from the school, this will haste their movement. And I think we, the students, we are ready to make sure that the mobility is in good order. We make sure that this vehicle that is being given handle to the school, we try and maintain it.
Benefiting institutions include Kogi State University, KSU, Ayingba, Kogi State College of Education, Angpa, Kogi State Polytechnic, Lokoja, and the Osara campus. Others are Kogi State College of Nursing and Midwifery, Obangede, Kogi State College of Education, Technical, Kaba, and Kogi State College of Science and Health Technology, Ida. A lot has been said about youths, especially graduates of higher institutions, to consider self-employment instead of an endless search for white-collar jobs. This is an inspiring story of a group of youths who have heeded this advice and are making considerably progress in their garment-making business. They say youths should learn a lesson from their experience.
I graduated from UNN and I read Pan and Applied Arts. I have passion for it, that's one. And the inspiration was just there in me. Technically, I love doing things on my own. Some business book I read some time ago, and I got to know that there is gain in profit than wages. So that is where I draw my inspiration from. And I have to choose to this line. And actually, at least I believe in what comes into my hand every day than to wait for 30 days before I get money. I'm even employing labor now because I have about 3 staff with me working for me. And equally, I've trained people that are on their own. So we are contributing to the nation's economy in one way or the other, and to equally reduce unemployment in the country.
I don't want to rely on government because of the situation of the government in our country today. So I decided to be a self-employed. Like for me now, you can see I'm a photographer. I have this passion, and I learned this work while I was in secondary school. And this work helped me during my higher institution, from my ND down to my HND.
I don't know, maybe later. But now I'm going into blue collar job, which is a business aspect. So that's what. But what I just need is that anyone that is capable, that is able to support the youth, they should. It's not in big amounts of money, but at least anyone that you see out there that you can support, help them and let them be something in life too.
Acquire the knitting skill, and that's my certificate for knitting here. Yes, I can be a boss on my own, yes, and even an employer of labor.
For me, I prefer my skills, except if there is something bigger. Like if government give me contract now, that is the only way I can fit this business I'm doing, because the business is giving me a living. I'm making a living out of it.
They called on government to support young entrepreneurs who have created niches for themselves.
My encouragement on the part of government is that they should be able to empower people like us, or empower tailors, and equally put it in their curriculum. The curriculum of education in the the secondary school, at the university, there are some auxiliary courses you take that is not even relevant to your course. At that hour of that auxiliary courses, they can change it to some of these trade. The university can establish, or polytechnic can establish a trade center whereby students will go and learn it. As you are graduating, even if you are a medical student, you will go and learn one thing or the other. As you are graduating, you are coming out with something to do.
It's not as if I cannot get a lot of this to make my life better, but you know, some of these we get it on the kind of credit, you know, and if I thought that government will intervene, like giving us a loan, there are fair loans that they can give to us, and we use it to boost our this, and that will give us more morale to do more better than this.
I want to appeal to them. Let them create awareness and maybe offer loan to us, and we also to develop our skill.
One of Zubari's apprentices explains why she delved into dressmaking after graduation.
After my service here, I applied so many places. I went for interview, there was no job. So instead of wasting my time at home without doing anything, I have to come and learn. I see myself in the next tutorial by God's grace as a boss on my own, and I will try to, maybe by the next 2, 3 or 3 years, I will employ like more than 10 people that will be training or as a staff to work under me, and I will be paying them. So they will, me too, I will be among the people that will give impact to the youth in my society. People like me that have served, that don't have anything doing now, they should just go to, they should lay down in one thing or the other that they know that they are passionate about. Because if you are not passionate in anything, your mind will not be there to do it. So what my advice to them is that they should leave the street and they should go back to, as in they should rethink and have one thing or the other to do. Either they should go and learn fashion designing, saloonist, organic, and anything. They should just go and learn, so that at least they'll be among the people or among the boys that will impact the younger ones or the youth around.
Intendant small and medium-scale businesses owners like Zubair have been advised to take advantage of the SMEs support program of the Kogi State government to grow their businesses. Commissioner of Commerce and Industry, Olorunleke Sunday, explains further.
The state government has earmarked a sum of 2 billion this year in the budget for the development of SMEs. Recently, a committee to steer the concept has been on and been working hand in hand with the Minister of Finance and Economic Development. By the special grace of God, in the shortest possible time, we are hoping to roll out assistance in terms of credit facilities to the BOI, Bank of Industry, and the Central Bank.
He said his ministry is working with international bodies to increase overall industrial development in the state. Sunday also said the state government has approved the establishment of cottage factories across the 3 senatorial zones.
We are trying to move the state from civil service state to industrialized states. I've gotten far into it. In fact, the Honorable Commissioner for Finance briefed the committee last week how far they have gone. So we are just waiting now to get to train the SMEs, get them ready, then we apply, and they'll be given their credit facilities. Collaboration with the Ministry of Commerce. There are some cottage industries, there are cassava, sugarcane, and all the rest, grains that has been owned. And by the grace of God, we are even still expecting some people to come from Brazil. We want to establish a very large vast of sugarcane plantation along the riverine areas, Ibaji down to Koto site. We have a very, very good land for it. farmers have been encouraged to plant more cassava because they know that there's already market for them. And we're also talking with them for them to expand the factory by establishing one in each of the 3 senatorial districts.
He called on all persons to support the present administration in the state, adding that 4 years is not enough time to make right the wrongs of past administrations. If you are just joining us, this is Kogi in Focus, a weekly review program of government activities and happenings in and around Kogi State. For your information, contributions, event coverage, and advert placement, please reach us via our social media handles and contact numbers displayed on your screen. The Kogi State chapter of the Nigeria Union of Journalists has finally broken the jinx by holding their media parley with political office aspirants in the state. State NUJ Chairman Adeze Momo Jimo described the parley as an opportunity to find out what the aspirants have to offer if they get into office.
We also afford the voters the opportunity to make informed choices when it comes to casting their votes during the election. I wish to use this opportunity to remind the aspirants on the program that whatever they say will form part of the marking scheme with which their performances in office will be judged.
The Kogi State Director General, Information and Grassroots Sensitization, Abdul Malik Abdurrahim, had words of advice for political office seekers.
Political office holding should be seen as a call to serve, not as a call to go and line our pockets. Let's go about peacefully and also believing that it is only God that is able. If God has destined that you are going to be there, you'll be there. You don't need to kill, you don't need to maim, you don't need to abuse anybody. So go out there and display your intellectual property that will convince electorates to stand in for you.
The INEC representative and guest facilitator also had something to say.
Media party, as it is described, will go a long way in providing voter education to the electorate. And this is one of our key functions as provided in the Constitution. Not only registering political parties or conduct of election, we are also interested in providing voter education to the electorate.
An opportunity for them to inform the electorate, to enlighten the electorate about their action plans when they get to public office. Secondly, it is also an avenue for politicians to, of course, assess their level of preparedness before the election. So with this party now, you will know whether you are ready or not. Because you are going to go into a discussion with the electorate and your eyes will be opened to see areas you need, of course, to make more preparation.
Among aspirants who made their promises public at the parley include Bashir Abubakar of People's Democratic Party, gunning for a House of Representatives seat, and Haruna Issa, who intend to step into the shoes of late member of the House of Representatives, Buba Jubril. The state NUJ said this is the first of many of such media parleys before the elections. The people of Ebache, Adede, and Ohieka communities in Adavi local government area of the state say they are happy with the state government's effort to improve social infrastructure and overhaul living standards across the state. They said they are aware of what is being done to restore water supply and electricity within Kogi Central, say there is an urgent need to halt the erosion that has threatened their roads, transformers and water supply boreholes.
In the evening time, when everybody has engaged in using light, we can even, to charge our handsets becomes very hard. No transformer. Up till now, we are suffering seriously because the whole town has only 2 transformers to carry the whole town. And the new site there has a lot of buildings there that needs light. It's unfortunate we don't have transformer.
We don't have potable water. Because the one we have has since dilapidated for a very long time unrehabilitated. So we are now at the mercy of local wells. So we are looking onto the government of the day to come to our aid, to supply us transformers so that we can our electricity can be enhanced. Likewise, come and rehabilitate the borehole that we have and sink more, and do the culvert, the bridge, so that we can make use of the cemetery in NS.
Actually, that of cemetery, you don't know what to do now. Even the only obstacle you're having now is that bridge. You don't know what to do about it because local government cannot afford unless state government.
They called on Governor Yahya Bello to be rest assured of their support at all times. This is Kogi in Focus. It's time for our views from the street. This week's views are from the farms as we sought to find out what the farmers and others think about the effect of the federal government's ban on the importation of rice into the country.
If there is no importation of rice into our country again, then we are going to, the impact on this country is that it will now lead to the increase in our own revenue.
This local rice is better than foreign rice. I will advise government to give farmer money or give farmer fertilizer to do farm local rice, because
your children, what will enter school, or you will put them to school. So if you take small like this to market, you sell it where and collect your money, pay your children school fees. That's my benefit.
As a farmer, my benefit is that as far as they have stopped that rice importation, I have opportunity to sell my rice and have much money for my children's school fees and other welfare, because I'm not a government worker. My appeal is that they should stop, they should less this our chemical. Another thing, they should less this our spraying and give us support like loan, so that we will use it for making it improve and bigger.
Before we call it another week, we will remind you that 2 Kogi Central icons died over 40 days now, but their impact still caused many to mourn them. The ancient city of Okene in Kogi Central last week remembered two of its prominent sons last month. The late chairman of the APC Political Elders Forum, Kogi Central, Idris King, and His Royal Highness Muhammadu Otaru, the Adeika Omadivi Ata II. Thousands of persons gathered at the homes of the departed to pray for the departed during the 40th day Fidel prayers. The Kogi State Governor Yaya Bello described the death of political icon Idris King as the creation of a vacuum difficult to fill, and advised other politicians to play the game without bitterness, which he said was the hallmark of Idris King's political career.
To live in peace and in harmony, and we must be vigilant at all times in order that all the criminal elements that are living amongst us, we exploit them, and we are sending a message to the family that they should remain united. The man has done a lot in their lives. We should remain united, and together, by the grace of God, we that are living today will not forget about them.
Governor Bello told members of the ruling All Progressives Congress there was a need to continue with and improve upon the late Idris King's political legacy.
The party is waxing stronger and stronger at national level, at state level, and at local level. He has played his own part while he was alive, and we owe him that responsibility to continue to maintain the unity that he has installed before his demise.
Governor Bello also paid tribute to late Muhammadu Otaru, the Adeika Omadivi Ata II. He encouraged Nigerians to shun violence and stop spreading rumors and hate speech capable of disrupting the peace of the land and the people. Idris King and His Royal Highness Muhammadu Otaru both died on 23rd May 2018. Idris King was aged 77, while the traditional ruler was 98. This is where we wrap it up on this week's edition of Kogi in Focus. And until I come your way, same time, same station, please continue to do unto others what you want them to do to you. I'm Oluwatosin Usiji. Have a great week.